I'm recording, Ian. Don't get annoyed at me. Welcome to the completely unnecessary podcast, Super Show number 30, Ian. 5s and 0s, Ian.
Wow.
I'm doing these Super Shows for 3 years. For Tuesday, February 24th, 2026, Winter Olympics are over, but we are here. That's Ian Ferguson. I'm Pat Contry. If you want to hear us talk about the Winter Olympics, we'll get some info later up for our Patreon, but it's patreon.com/CU podcast. We always have a little 20-minute conversation that you don't hear on YouTube unless you really love us.
A little informal rap session.
Or you can subscribe on YouTube. You do that whole subscription-based model thing. On the show today, we're talking about a really sketchy Logan Paul Pokemon card sale. Xbox leadership turnover. The turnover. Real Game Awards coming soon. M64 preview, as in Mod Retro 64. M64 preview. And then also a giant game collection is parting ways from a famous game collector.
Big collection.
Fuck, too late. Ian, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm good. It's February. The month is, just about over. I don't know where it went. Been cooking a lot of neat vegetables lately.
You showed me some alien vegetable on your
Yeah.
computer.
Tonight I'm going to cook a Romanesco. I'm excited about it.
Romanesco sounds like a figure skating term for a move, by the way. Speaking of that.
An ancient sex move.
Okay. I did. It wasn't going there, but okay.
Entry number whatever in the Kama Sutra, the Romanesco. The value! So, yeah, I've been doing that. I've been getting together with a couple of friends every weekend or so to play cards, shoot the shit. Not poker.
I'm in a decent mood.
Yeah, I noticed. We're both pretty all right today.
I'm in a decent mood for two reasons. I'll get into the corporate shill one, even though it's not. I'm shilling my own thing, but not shilling it. It's NES book, new edition.
Yeah,
it's like 98.4% written for the main reviews. 800. The final review number is, not counting the Sachin section, which is a whole 70 other games. 830 games.
Goddamn. So you're on the launch pad.
We're on the launch pad.
A little more.
Let's see some rocket fuel. Well, you can pre-order at ultimatenintendo.com. No Kickstarter yet, or later in the year. But one of the things we're running into right now is for the Brazilian games. In particular, you got unzipped to enjoy this.
Just a little warm.
The Brazilian games and the Brazilian NES market was a huge market. Probably, you have obviously North America, you have Europe, you have Australia, you have parts of Asia, where the NES trickled into.
The only other Nintendo game I would ever want to own again is the gold. It's Brazilian, right? It's the gold Nintendo World Cup Soccer Super Spike V-Ball.
Correct.
Yeah.
It used to be only like $80, but now people discover it's hundreds.
Yes.
I got it down there somewhere.
Yep.
Because there were so many clones that came out.
Tons of them.
Famicom clones and NES clones. One of the more famous ones, because they dominated, was the Gradiente Phantom System, which I have. I forgot who was nice enough to give it to me. It used a 7800 shell and a Master System. Basically, this light phaser, Sega light phaser, was their light gun.
Yeah.
And it used like a Genesis controller. Same shape. There's a recessed C button is the start button. Then the start button in the Genesis is select. So it has all four buttons, just in different places.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But what's interesting about the Phantom system and Gradiente was that collectors and historians are mostly in agreement that those releases, like I'll show you this one.
Oh yeah,
Stealth Fighter was officially Activision gave them permission to make this.
Right.
Ghostbusters was the packing game for the console. And it's they probably got permission, it seems, because there's a few Activision games, for example,
sure.
like that. And then they had an exclusive that never came out anywhere else in the world on an NES card. I'm not even sure. I double check for Asia. Crime Busters, which is a very simple light gun game that was packed in. The light phaser was called Laser Gun. Was not packed in with the console. You had to buy packed in with this
separately with that.
With this. So I literally wrote this review 3 or 4 days ago. It's not great. I was struggling to give it below average. It's either bad or below average. It's probably right in between. But so the point is this: is that trying to figure out some of these other companies. But they also did unlicensed pirated stuff. Super Ear Mouse is Super Mario Brothers, but this is not Nintendo did not give him permission to do Super Ear Mouse for example. But there's a bunch of other companies. There's like 5 or 6 companies down there, like CCE, Dynacom, Dismac, that did a bunch of ones. Like this is a Millionaire from Milmar, another company. So this is like the Sachin game that came out. If you remember the Sachin, there was a Millionaire game.
Yeah.
And also it was probably on Famicom. So this is where we're getting in trouble. Me and like Daniel from Witter Ion Studios, and then James, who runs legendofnes.com. We're trying to figure out, are any of these other ones actually official releases?
Right.
So like when Millionaire came out, did they actually go to Sachin and be like, hey, can we do this? Or is this a pirated game, technically? That's where...
And then there's no one knows.
No one really knows. So we're going to have a cutoff probably for the Brazilian games. There might be like 2 or 3 that make the book as exclusive, but we're not even positive. Like I have to write a review for Fighting Hero, which is a Street Fighter ripoff. Not Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter, like the first Street Fighter. It's a total ripoff. So we have to decide, like, do you think they got the go ahead to actually do this or not? That's the question for some of these games. That's what I've been doing there. But we have all the labels. We're missing like maybe 3 or 4 label variants. Those were all rescanned and ready to go. The cart model's finalized. I showed you the cart there, the picture on the phone.
I like it.
You like it? Is that
I like
good?
it. It's good. It's good stuff.
From Ian, that's like, that's like the best you can get. It's good stuff. But then, so that's the one positive thing. The other thing I'm happy about is that my credit card saga has ended.
Woohoo!
So
this has been going on longer than I realized until the other day. You were like last year, and I was like, oh yeah, it's been since November, right?
Don't pull the curtain back, Ian. Let me.
I thought you'd already kind of talked about this a little bit on here.
I don't think I have. I think I've
You've been saving it up. All right, my bad.
Picture it, Christmas Day, 2025. So what happened in end of December? I had forgotten to since I work for myself, I have to prepay federal taxes and state, and you got to get in usually by like early December. But I'd forgotten. I did a $10,000 transfer from one of my accounts to my other personal to have enough money in the account to send to the IRS. I did that in like December 10th. I had forgotten about that money, but so I had 10,000 extra in that account. I log in before I go to Frank's, literally 2 hours before I go to Frank's for meat sauce on Christmas Day. One of the highlights of the year. Log into my account, and I'm like, there's a charge for like $6,400 out of my account for a credit card that I don't really use. So I don't charge $6,400 on all my credit cards combined every month, let alone one.
Sure.
So this was an alarm bell that went off. I log into my my Citi account. This is my American Airlines Citi card. The reason I have it, Ian, is because you get the free bags, when you go. So it pays for itself. You fly once, 45 one way and back.
Do you get the Admirals Club?
And you get 2. I don't think it's called the Admiral Club, but you get free drinks and snacks. There's like oatmeal and mixed nuts, and there's a bartender. You can get free Coke, or you can buy like a mixed drink if you want. So I log into the account, Ian. This is a card that was shipped to me. It expired naturally in like May or so. The expiration, they send you a new one. I activated it. I don't think I used it, or I might have used it once.
Okay.
So I went back. I look at the account, and I see 300 charges between Christmas going back to end of July. It's literally around 300 charges, and from the months of the invoices from your credit card from August, July, September, October, November, or we're like maybe $100 a month, $150 until it hit October and November, and it was like hundreds of dollars over like a few days. $500 this day, $80, and then it racked up. So I didn't get any of the bills in the mail. It was all, I guess, email, but I'm not even sure those were sent because I usually look at those, and I would have spotted it because the $6,400 was already gone out of my bank account because that was the November invoice.
Right.
It was gone. And I had $4,000 plus more dollars just for December sitting there. Unpaid, but in my account that I am billed for that, I'm going to be charged the next billing cycle in January. So we're talking like close to $10,500 total. $6,400 gone from my bank account.
Jesus.
If I had not done the $10,000 transfer to prepay my federal taxes, I would have been overdrafted in that account. If that money was not sitting there, it's almost like something told me not to send that money earlier.
Right.
So I call up Citi on Christmas, and I did get someone in the fraud department. I basically said, "Hey, I was panicking. You know why I'm panicking? Because every single credit card I've ever had, or you out there have ever had, you have something called fraud alerts. You get,
Yeah.
fraud alerts on your phone. They'll say, hey, this charge. You'll get them 3 a.m. sometimes. I've got them in the middle of the night. Hey, Did you make this charge? No, I didn't. You hit no. We closed your account. I did not get one of those over several months.
That's insane.
So I talked to this lady on the phone.
So you clearly you're asking them to find out why you didn't get these alerts.
They had no answer.
Really?
No.
But they didn't like stop doing alerts. They didn't just like.
Citi's not like a bank down the street. You know, Citi's a big bank.
Yeah.
It's a major credit card company.
Yeah.
I've had this credit card for like 8 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what was so bizarre about it, is just like, because the way credit cards work is this. They're not, the credit card company, they're making the commission on the sale.
Yeah.
So when you're paying your bill, like, that's all that money's not going to Citi. The money's going back to the vendor, basically. That's how it works, right? The money comes back. It's like they're the intermediary. They're skimming off the top.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. That's exactly what they do.
So,
they take a 35 cents or whatever.
The 2.5%, 3%, whatever. So it behooves them to cut out fraud, because now it fucks with the vendors individually, because you have chargebacks and weird shit like that happens, and people get merchandise for free and whatever else. So that's what was so bizarre about it. And I was like semi-panicked, because this has never happened before. I've gotten fraudulent things where it's like, oh, a couple slip through, but then you talk to them and they figure it out. But we're talking 300 different charges never alerted to. So I'm on the phone with this lady.
How does that happen?
I basically said to this lady, listen, you see all these charges? Let's assume I didn't make any of them, and I will go back through and honestly tell you which ones I made. So, for example, there was like, when I went to PRGE, I went out with Daniel and Alex for sushi. I recognized the charge.
Right.
Like, oh, I was in Portland that weekend. It says Portland.
So that's one of the rare times you use that card.
Yes. One of the rare times I said, oh, I'll use this card for the heck of it. And I pulled it out.
Okay.
So, but what I told her, I said, listen, these charges started like end of July, and I didn't use the card really. I said it has to be an inside job, which do exist from I hear some of these places where like they clone the card, because there was charges in Northern California, Chula Vista, right down here. There was charges all over the place with this card, and online. There's a bunch of online charges. So the card got around, and so I said to him, so she flagged all these things manually in the system, which, by the way, didn't include all of them, because I went back 2 days later and spent 3 hours flagging about 70 more that she missed.
All right.
So now I'm like, these people are not competent. The fact that they didn't have a fraud alert going to alert me, and now they're not even flagging the ones I told them to flag. I spent literally that Saturday after Christmas, 3 hours literally clicking over, going to that and read. Like, it was not funny, and
yeah, that doesn't sound it.
So there was things on there like Panera Bread. I'll never go to Panera in my life. There was a wig maker that was on there. There were subscriptions to like a matchmaker dating service. I should have had it brought up. There was all these weird things, and what's interesting is that if you know how it works, these credit card companies know where these purchases were made, where the vendor was, and they know how they were made. They know if they were swiped, they know if they were on the chip, they know if it was on the phone. All that information is recorded. So like, they know I'm not making these charges, and there's a federal law saying you are not responsible for charges that are fraudulent on your credit card. You just aren't.
Right.
It's like you're like responsible for like $50. There's like some nominal fee. Like, you are not responsible. But of course, I'm like paranoid, because I'm like, well, what if they don't agree with this?
Yeah.
Or whatever. This is a $10,000,
This is a lot of money.
$6,000 plus out of my account already, my bank account, and $4,000 plus sitting there. But they said, well, if now this is in dispute, sir, you're not going to be paying the next bill We're going to halt it. I said, well, how long does this take to do this? And she said, it takes 5 to 7 business days. I'm like, okay. I answered questions. They ask you the stock questions. They say, was your card always in your possession?
Right.
Did anyone have access to this? Was this like a blackmail thing? They have all these like standard questions for the investigation. So he said, okay, 5 to 7 days. I'm like, okay. I wait 7 days, business days about. I call back. I get in touch with someone else because on the account, there was about 4 more charges that came through on a closed card that they'd already sent me a new card for, and then I did not activate yet. I had new charges on the card. I call up and I say, hey, listen, I want to check in about this 5 to 7 day thing, but there's charges on my account that shouldn't have a card. Plus, I locked the card on top. You can lock the card on a card I hadn't even activated yet. Like there's no way to make these charges,
right?
In theory. So
how?
So they say to me, well, that's because some of the vendors that are like automatic subscription programs, like one was like Slice.com or whatever, like pizza, fucking Uber or whatever. Some of these automatically go through, but it shouldn't happen. We'll take care of them. Like, great, that sounds good. I don't know why they would automatically carry it through. I don't know how this works, but thank you. Do that. Then I said, about the 5 to 7 business days. They go, oh, that's not true, sir. Well, that's what they told me. It was 5 to 7 days to clear this up. Other credit card companies, within a week. I've had like Chase, they cleared it up. Oh, it takes up to 90 billing days. 90 billing days. So you're gonna say you're gonna have 6,000 plus of my money locked up for 90 days?
That was the surprising part for me because I got hit a few years ago and I want to say it was like, maybe it's a certain amount of money. The investigation has to be different, but I had like 1,500 in like fraudulent charges refunded to me in a week. So I wonder if there's like a threshold, like a 5,000, where they're like, all right, now we got to investigate this for 8 years.
So 90 days, I'm like, that's not, I don't have a choice. I'm going to say, go faster. So this is like, at this point, it's like January 3rd or 4th when I make this call. So then I check another week because I have anxiety. We're talking like 10,000 plus of charges. What if they say, fuck you, we're going to keep your $6,400 and plus 4,000 more? What would you do? You fucking murder someone. So another week goes by. I check again in my account. More new charges on this card. The card that's locked, a card I haven't activated yet. More charges. I call back again. I might have called one time in between, too. I call back for a 3rd time. I said, hey, listen, this is under investigation still. There's still new charges coming up on my card for subscription services or what have you. Oh, sir, this is because, this carries over. I said, listen, you told me this last time on the phone that some of these the subscriptions, they get the new number, it carries over. But this is a locked card. And I said, well, sir, in our system, we automatically carry this over, that it does this. I said, this is a card that was used fraudulently. Can you shut this function off?
These subscriptions are fraudulent.
Can you shut off the automatic carryover to the vendor of the new card? Oh, absolutely, we can do that. Can you please do that? Because this has been used fraudulently and these are not my charges. Yeah, we'll do that.
Please.
Why did I have to bring this up? Why is this not default on a fraudulent card to do this? That's under investigation.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
it was already shut down for being fraudulent.
So then I still was checking. I think a couple more. I saw a couple of charges. I just disputed them manually, and those were taken off right away because they didn't have to like lock the whole card again. I don't know. Then it gets to like 2 weeks later. Now it's like January 24th. I check in. I go to my dispute center. I had 300 charges on, literally 300 or so, 301 on the dispute center. They were all gone. And it said, they're on their tab, it said, customer responsible. So now I'm in panic mode.
Yeah.
This is now the 4th or 5th time I call back. And I speak to the lady.
5th by my account.
It could have been 6 within a month. And I said to the person, why does this say responsible? Like, I'm like panicking. I'm like, what is this? Like, money's gone. You're going to charge me $4,000 more for the next statement when it comes up. Well, you didn't answer some of our questions for our investigative team. Like, what are you talking about? I was on the call with the lady in Christmas for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
With Frank's. Like, we went through like months. She said, did you make this charge? No. Did you make this one? Yes. She said, well, we sent you a letter. And I did get a letter. I got a letter said action required, contact us by January 21st. And I did get this as credit. To continue investigating the transactions, which aren't listed, by the way. We need to hear from you by January 21st. If you've already spoken to us about your transactions within the past few days, there's no need to call again. So when I got this letter, it was January 6th. Well, this is when it was dated. I didn't call because in my head I was like, I talked to this lady for 2 hours.
Right.
We went through everything on here.
Sure.
We went through month by month all these charges. And I said to her, I made this charge. So they said, well, that's why we closed the investigation, sir, because you didn't answer the questions. Okay, can I answer them now? Yes, you can answer them now. Tell me what your questions are. Okay, the same questions. Were you in possession of your card the whole time? Yes. Were you forced to make these charges because of something else calling you? No. Then they had 3 questions. Or 4. Did you make this charge in Texas on this day? I said, that was the weekend of Billy's Memorial.
Yeah.
When I went to Texas. Yeah, I bought that ice cream. Yes, I went to the diner. Yes, I did that. Great, that's all the questions we have. So they knew I made those charges and were just making sure I made those. Right? So the fact that they just wanted confirmation and I didn't get it that I made those 3 charges, they put me on the fucking hook for over $10,000 of charges when they know I didn't make the others. So I said to them, that should clear it up, right? Well, now we have to reopen the investigation. Well, how long is this going to take? 60 to 90 days. I'm losing my fucking mind at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, are you kidding me? The questions or the charge are not on the fucking paper at all. Because if I saw it, I said, that doesn't make any sense. I would have called it up. I answered 3 correctly about what they knew I made because they know what you're making, what you're not. 2 days later in the mail to rub salt in the wound, conclusion of the investigation on January 24th. We previously reached out to you regarding your disputes, but since we didn't receive the information we needed, we had to continue our investigation with the information we had available. Unfortunately, this information wasn't sufficient to resolve the dispute in your favor, and your dispute has been closed. Fucking charge me those 3 or 4 things that you thought that I charged and refund everything else then. That's the way you should fucking handle this.
Yeah, no shit.
Not default that all the fraudulent charges I fucking made, you pieces of shit. 4 days later, 5 days later, I log in, or 6 days later, I log in, just for the hell of it. And I saw a $6,200 credit back into the account. I saw the other $4,300 pending wiped. I'm like, great. They didn't tell me this. They didn't call me. They didn't send me a fucking letter. But everything is good. But now I have $6,000 plus in my account. I want out of these fucking pieces of shit's account back in my bank account. So now I call them. Hey, and I'm trying not to let on that they made a mistake or something. I'm like, hey, this negative balance, I need it back in my account.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll do that. How long is it going to take? Oh, it's up to 14 days to do it. So now I'm like sweating for 2 weeks. Please don't reverse this. This is not a small amount of money to me.
Right.
But finally, I fucking emailed you or I texted you what happened. The money got put back to my account. Like this was a 7-week saga to do this, to get this right. Was this worse once I spelled it out to you? It's worse.
I mean, a lot of it was, pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Fuck you, City. I will never use your fucking credit card again. Oh, but I have to because I got one more letter. This letter concerns a transaction described below with your device account. They basically reimbursed me twice for something, so now they have to charge me for it again.
Amazing.
So now I still owe $120 or whatever for this fucking account that they had to pull out of my bank account. You fucking assholes. I hope you enjoyed that, but that was not fun.
Nope.
Picture if you had to go through that, Ian.
I've gone through similar things.
For that amount?
Close.
Really?
Yeah.
For a credit card company?
Yeah.
Fucking assholes. They know exactly what charges you make and what they don't. They just don't want to go through their own fucking incompetence of not having proper fraud flags in place. That's their fault. It's not mine, assholes. Sorry.
Logan Paul Pokemon card sale.
That was a little longer than I thought. That was like 10
that
plus
was
minutes.
that was long. You know more about this than I do, but
Sweating
it's
now.
the I know it's the artist card that was supposedly sold.
See, so this card, the controversy with this card, Carl Jobs did a video about. This was one of these websites like Rally where you buy a fractional collectional fucking thing.
Right.
So he started his own company to do this and sold 51% of this card for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know the precise amount off the top of my head. But then somewhere along the line, he bought it back somehow, even though you shouldn't be allowed to do that if you don't own the majority stake. That's the whole fucking
Yeah, that's
the whole
insane.
point of these is that you voted it as a stockholder. You all
Yes.
vote. Like, if say there's 100 members of the stock that own this. They all vote, hey, should we sell? We have an offer. That's how this is supposed to work, this fractional investment bullshit. Which, by the way, we've been offered sponsorships for this shit. And we declined.
Oh, yeah, I
because
won't-
it's fucking sketchy
I
as
will
hell.
not do that.
If only some of our contemporaries didn't do this as well. That aside, so he gets the rights back somehow. He auctions it off, and it makes records. Guinness was there, $16 million. Anthony Scaramucci's son, the ex-Trump's original press guy who quit in like 2 weeks, which was Scaramucci.
Yep.
His son, which I guess works in the shit finance, I don't fucking know. He's there, by the way, in person, which is usually what happens with these, right? You're always in person to the auction and win these things. He's there. He bids on it. He wins $16 million for the card. Guinness is there to certify it's the biggest card sale ever or whatever. But the whole thing is fucking sketchy, obviously. It seems like it's, in my opinion, it's a market pump. He started a new fucking company there called Rip It, Logan Paul. It must do with like ripping open packs.
I was going to say cracking boxes.
I haven't looked into it. My apologies, but to me it sounds like you're like investing in people opening up fucking boxes of cards for you. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like.
Oh yeah, I've seen shit like it sounds awful.
Like you're betting on, hey, I'm gonna bet that I'm gonna buy that pack. I'm investing in that box of Pokemon cards, Ian.
Yep.
It sounds fucking terrible. And so that happens. Then there was a sketchy Polymarket bet made. One of these prediction sites you can bet. Someone bid right before that it was going to go for a certain amount and won like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow.
Some insider trading shit that they knew what the bid was going to go up to.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing regulating these Polymarketing Kalshi shit. Like there's no regulation really.
Right. None.
On it. So the whole thing was just, I don't know, you know more about the Pokemon cards than me, but and plus the other thing was that people were saying
it doesn't really matter what the card is, but the artist card, it was a Pokemon card. I believe there's I'm going from what is probably bad memory here. We can look. There's a very limited number of the artist cards. And they were, I believe, given to Pokemon card artists who did card art for the first, I think it was the first generation and maybe a couple of the expansions, but there is a finite number. These were not cards, to my knowledge, unless there was some like promotion or giveaway. None of these were cards you could get in packs.
Okay. So the other controversy is that it was a graded 10 PSA, but people were saying it was regraded. It was originally like a 9, and it got regraded to a 10. People were scrutinizing, saying, hey, I can actually see a mark on the back of it. Like, if there's anything on a card, it's not a 10.
Right.
10 is like one of those things like where it's like 10 in comics. It's like doesn't exist almost.
I mean, 10 in cards does exist, but it's still not common. So I would say it's more common than you would see it in comics, but
either
still
way,
not common.
People are saying this is the whole thing's shady. Logan Paul's shady. I'm not watching WWE anymore because he's an active member of that, and their business is going down slowly but surely.
There's plenty of reasons to not watch WWE.
Well, I mean, the WrestleMania tickets aren't selling. Obviously, they have all the.
They're not.
No.
Oh.
They just put them on sale for 25% off.
Oh wow.
Because the cheapest tickets, when the cheapest tickets to your event are like $500, you're pricing out people.
Right.
And especially with the second year in a row in Vegas. Plus now it's a destination to a dying city. I don't know if Vegas is going to be around in 6-7 years as like how you know it now.
Sure.
It may not be. You think I'm crazy? There's been other cities in America that have had it fallen off. St. Louis used to be like the most beautiful, biggest city like in the U.S. Not anymore. It's not. So the whole point is this: WWE sucks now. AJ Styles retired, And that's about it with that.
More nonsense in AI. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but Unity says that its AI tech will soon be able to prompt full casual games into existence. And
Ian, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, as someone said, it may very well get to the point where it could, but again, it's the quality. Let's put it this way. Let me put it this way. Full casual games is also something that the Amico said it had plenty of.
Sure.
We saw plenty of pictures of that. Full casual games doesn't mean that AI is going to make the next Candy Crush. It's going to spit out some bullshit that genuinely sucks.
That might resemble a Candy Crush type game, but
right, but
it's not going to play like it.
You're not going to have the same systems. No. You're not going to have. It's just like AI can spit out movies. Doesn't mean it's a good movie. Doesn't mean it makes any sense. That's the
big thing about this. You see everything on Twitter about Seed Dance 2.0. It's like, wow, you can do this Matrix fight for only $10, and people are like, that wouldn't exist if they didn't do the Matrix movies, asshole.
Right? No shit. Again, it's not creating anything new. It's only capable of creating derivative work.
It's not magic.
Yes.
I don't think there's probably a lot of AI proponents that listen to our podcast. There used to be some NFT proponents and other weirdos every once in a while that would say, get in early. You know who you are. They said, get in early. That's why it's coming to me, because you're a fucking loser that's done videos about me and Ian before. Anyway, I don't think you know what it is. But, yeah, people are like, hey, I just created this for only $25. Superman versus the fucking guy from the Amazon Prime series. What the fuck his name is.
The Boys?
The Boys, yeah.
Okay.
What's the name of the name?
Homelander?
Homelander. I did this Homelander versus Superman fight. It's not magic. AI does not... It trains on everything. It steals content to train on it. Yeah. Sue them all into oblivion. All these companies should do that. Disney, fuck you for trying to partner with one of them. You just lost $2 billion.
And moving into a more serious topic involving AI, Xbox is basic. We're witnessing... in real time, the death of Xbox. Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond have stepped down. Asha Sharma has stepped in. Asha Sharma's history is in AI.
You want to tell people, just in case I don't know who Phil Spencer and
Sarah... Phil Spencer was the president of
the Xbox head, and then I think Sarah was the president. So they're gone. And Phil was with the company since '88 or so as an intern.
38-year tenure.
That's crazy.
Yep, that's nuts. And okay, you can look at someone like Phil Spencer, who's been in there for 38 years, and he's getting older, and yeah, maybe it's time to retire and step down.
Sure.
But with Bond also stepping down, I wonder if this is... We talked about this yesterday, and you were like, do you think they were forced into it? And I said, it's possible that they saw the writing on the wall and just stepped down.
I think they're forced.
I don't know that they were forced, but I think either way, even if they were, it was probably an easy decision for them to make.
I'm not an insider, but I think the fact that this last hardware was not their own hardware, the Ally Rock thing, that's very telling, obviously, because we don't want to risk any more developing.
We already said this. Yes, we've had this conversation.
But maybe now that was even a bridge too far. If Phil and Sarah we need to do some hardware to have some identity with our past customers. This is what I would do. We need to have something. We understand we want to get rid of. We're already pivoting to say you can play Xbox on anything. That's an Xbox. That's your computer's an Xbox. Your
one of the stupidest, most idiotic marketing campaigns I've ever seen.
The point is okay, we want to tilt towards digital. I get that. That doesn't mean you should not ever do anything hardware ever again. There's still room for. We want to do some fucking controller shit. You want to do a handheld every now and then. Yeah, maybe you don't invest $10 billion into a new console, but maybe there's still room. And they probably said, no, we're fucking done entirely. There's the door.
Well, I feel like it's... this has been a long time coming. We've been watching this on its way for years. And you're right. At some point, there just has to be a break point where we're done. But
I think that's what push came to shove, where it's like,
sure.
Well, it's like they probably... I'm not basing it off anything, but if they're with the company, especially Phil, for 38 years, Ian, he probably has some connection to this brand that you would, like, yes, he's a CEO, but like, hey, he started as making nothing,
Right.
and he's seen the company grow and develop, and now you're telling him, well, we're not doing any of that anymore that you've been involved with for almost 40 years. We're just done. He probably said, this is no.
Well, that's basically what I'm saying is there was just nothing left there for him anymore. However, it went down.
Sure.
This is crazy because it really is a sign of Microsoft kind of throwing in the towel, and also I didn't know Microsoft could lean any harder into AI, but we now have who knows what's going to happen there, but it certainly doesn't look good, and it certainly looks like AI will be forced into the shell of whatever Xbox remains. If this is happening, there are multiple years of rampant acquisition and studio acquisition.
$75 billion for Activision.
Nothing.
$75 billion. Why did they do that? Well, we have to. Why? I don't know.
Like Tears in Rain.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie.
Rest in peace, Rutger Hauer.
One of the most powerful line deliveries in a movie.
I think they said
I'm pretty sure the parts that I like the most, the part where he talks about the Tannhauser gates and shit.
He just ad-libbed it?
He ad-libbed it.
Wow.
So like he's like all of these like things he says where you're like, I mean, it sets a picture for you. That was just ad-libbed.
AI can't do that.
Right.
It can't ad-lib beautiful moments on the fly.
Right. Absolutely
you need
not.
a fucking soul to do that. Sorry, go on.
So the acquisition.
It's now a Blade Runner podcast.
The acquisition.
I haven't rewatched Blade Runner in like several years. I should rewatch it.
You know who really likes it is Adam, and he watched it recently and mentioned it. And I was like, I have to fucking watch that movie again.
We should sit down and watch the real director's cut.
So, anyways, all of these years of rampant acquisition for what? A plan you didn't really have. You just it was one of those things where it's like, if you buy it's like someone who buys a bunch of music equipment. They think if they buy all the equipment,
They're going to use it.
They're going to become a musician.
If you're a DJ, you probably know some of those people.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do.
You feel you just have to.
You feel you do because that's the business you're in. Okay, well, we're not doing great this generation video game wise. That's what Xbox is saying to itself. So what do? We go out and we acquire these companies, and they're going to make us all the best games, and we're going to succeed. All of that money has been for nothing. And now you have all of these developers under the Microsoft umbrella that are looking around going, what the fuck are we doing? And I've been reading it online. People are joking, but the Microsoft license fire sale is going to be something, I think.
What was it? We didn't put it on the docket. What was the company that they just announced closing of? Was it a Sony company that does a bunch of remakes the other day?
Yes. Unfortunately, I can't remember the one, but it's the company that did the Demon's Soul remake. I can look it up.
So I just think they got into an arms race, these companies. Except even Nintendo bought a few little companies, but Nintendo, they're smarter about this stuff. They don't get out of their skis usually.
Blue Point Games was the name of the... So From Software obviously made the original. Blue Point Games was the one that developed the remake.
So the point is that when you make... And that doesn't count... $75 billion is just one company. They probably spent a few billion acquiring the other dozens of companies.
Yeah.
That they've gotten rid of a lot of them. So that gives you obviously a lot less wiggle room when it comes to decisions like this, because they're probably like, oh no, we're not going to invest billions into a new console or $1 billion or into a new piece of like a handheld. We're done. We're pivoting entirely now. Like we're not even going to drag along the old thoughts. We're just fucking done. That's what's happening probably.
And I think I'm sure other people have thought of this, but we've watched just an insane number of layoffs in the video game industry for the past 3 years.
I should add to the docket. I think
we stopped. I mean, there was a time where we were checking the trackers because there were trackers. We stopped. Not to be dicks. It's because it's depressing. And what are we going to tell you? Nothing new. But when we look at, like I said, everything that Microsoft acquired, I'm afraid that there's a wave coming unlike anything we've seen before.
Here's the article.
That's what terrifies me.
Here's the article.
What the fuck is Bethesda? Like, who gets Bethesda?
Here's the article that I was surprised you didn't bring up to me. 1/3 of U.S. video game industry workers were laid off over the past 2 years. 1/3. Third. That's not like a depression. A depression is like, I think, 15-20% laid
That's
off.
an industry crumbling in on itself.
1/3. The Great Depression wasn't 1/3 unemployment. It was lower than that. It was the Great Depression. That's a catastrophe.
Yep.
That's a systematic like failure on investment, on knowing where the industry is going, and just playing chicken with your competitors. Of course, we're talking mostly about Microsoft and Sony when we talk about this, but other companies too, like Embracer buys a bunch of companies out and closes some. Like those companies too have done this. I'm sure like Tencent and those ones as well. It's just that
Doesn't Tencent have part of Embracer, or is Embracer on its own? I'll look.
Let's see. Let's see. There's an incestuous nature there. The point is that at some point you have to answer to shareholders that'll be like,
No.
yeah, this is great, but we got to start making some money on this stuff that we invested in, and they only gave some of these companies like 2 years to do that, sometimes less. You know,
Right, which, as we've seen with modern day AAA games, the ones that sell, the big ones, take more than 2 years to make. We've got games that have been in development for 6 years. You get games like Grand Theft Auto 6 that have been in development for 800 years.
800.
600 combined years of... Anyways,
they're on the launch pad though.
yeah. So, none of it was sustainable. None of it made any sense at the time. None of it makes any sense now, and yeah, I don't think this gets better. I mean, they start selling off some of these companies, those companies are gonna go through layoffs anyway.
Oh, selling off. They're just closing them anyway.
Close them.
They're not even trying to find who's going to buy them. Who's going to buy them?
Well, I mean, someone's gonna take, because Bethesda. Someone will take Bethesda.
Okay.
You know, someone will find. I mean,
But you need a
Activision's not
buyer
the-
big enough.
Yes.
It's going to be the
Right.
Saudis, I guess. They'll just start buying them
Well,
out.
and that's the terrifying thing, because
Like with EA?
they just keep getting further and further into video games, and because it's not good, man, at all.
It's not good.
It is real bad.
You know what's not laying off 1/3 of its employees? UltimateNintendo.com.
Wow.
Not laying off 1/3 because
You'd have to take an axe to your leg.
taking off a third of Pat. If they did that, then I wouldn't have an arm to mail out your RBI baseball stickers, your enamel pins. You like that one?
Real
your
smooth.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, I like that. Was good.
Your Blu-ray. You're not for
Segue
resale,
into segue.
You're not for resale Blu-ray, and you can pre-order the
Combo.
You can pre-order the new Nintendo book, NES book, or you can buy that N64 book. Super Nintendo books are getting low on quantity, Ian. That double print run I did, it's basically 2 print runs are almost sold out.
Low Quan.
We should probably also mention, Ian, we're going to be somewhere in 2.5 weeks.
We definitely are. We're going to be at
Game On Expo.
at Game On Expo
Phoenix,
in
Arizona.
Arizona. It's been a while since we've been
8
there.
years.
8 years.
We'll be there the 13th, 14th, and 15th of March. Our panel's on Sunday morning, 11:30ish.
11:30 to 12:30, I believe.
Get in early. I mean, it's been 8 years, so sometimes I come back to these I've been to a while, but people are like, we have to see Pat and Ian. We gotta hang out. We gotta buy some stickers and hang out.
I'm excited though. I haven't been to Arizona in a while. I'm gonna look into some of the stuff that's around there, and yeah, I'm gonna have a good time.
So that's fun. And then we're on Twitch Wednesdays and Thursdays. Do I have to tell you by now? If not, I passed 300 streams a few weeks ago.
Pat Wednesdays, me Thursdays, Pat commercials, me electronic music.
There you go. I think I told you I did electronic music in college. I think I told you that.
a few
I'm
times.
embarrassed to send you one of my albums, so I'm not doing that.
That's fine.
I'm really embarrassed about that. But one got put on a demo CD that was included with Spin Magazine. I think I told you that. Did I tell you that? Mm-hmm. Maybe that track you listen to, but it's just all me mixing. Anyway, Unreal Tournament 2004. Where is it? Here's my copy, 2-disc edition, Atari published.
Free.
This is actually, this is one of the ones I bought just to get a new code.
Yeah.
Like the code was not used in it.
Oh, right.
But now it's free, $99. It's free.
Oh, God, those Atari stickers were everywhere. They shoved them in everything.
What do you mean? Oh, there's a sticker inside? Oh, nice.
We used to have those. They would just multiply around Luna.
Ian doesn't still realize we're doing a visual part too. Look at these.
Yeah.
I got to remind Ian that, hey, the audience is there too. But anyway, Unreal Tournament 2004 is one of my all-time favorite games. 99, it's touch and go. 99 is better for some respects, worse for others, because Assault Mode in 2004 was groundbreaking. Every other game copied it. But anyway, it's free. So Epic is doing good by the community, and they just did an update to the game, like the first update in forever.
Don't give any credit to. I mean, Tim Sweeney is Epic, and that man just spends his entire day fucking crying about people being mean to AI. So
that's true. But
fuck them. Take the free game, but fuck them.
My link isn't working there.
Nope, it didn't work for me either. That's all right. You can tell us about the 1971 Lost Golgo 13 anime coming out on Blu-ray.
I didn't know about this, and I'm Mr. Golgo 13 on the show. Ian's Mr. whatever other anime. I'm Mr. Golgo 13.
Animes, yeah.
Maybe One Punch Man a little bit. I don't know when season 3 is coming out. So it's a stretch to call it anime, but because basically what it is,
It's like a motion comic, or
they literally took the comics.
Yeah.
We'll just zoom in on certain frames and zoom out and add sound effects. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's not animated. So that's why it's like, what do you call it? You know, it's not like, it's cool. Like if it's a car in the scene, we'll move the camera across. We'll hear, you know, like it's not animation.
It's like a motion comic, which is something that you occasionally see it in. I believe DC has done some motion.
There's
comics.
been Golgo 13 motion comics on PlayStation. There's a couple of them, for example. So anything, it's like with Unreal. I love these things. Well, Golgo 13 is still really popular in Japan. It's still going. Still the longest running manga. I don't know why there hasn't been a live action movie in 40 fucking years. Even in Japan, like, what are you doing? Like, they're afraid of doing it. But anyway, so it's going to come out in Blu-ray. I'm probably not interested in it just because it's not animation, but it's interesting. Anyway. And for you fans out there of the Real Game Awards, they just finished their Dave & Buster's
It looked fucking slapping. It looked so much fun. I can't wait to talk about it.
So it filmed last night. It's almost like an Intellivision Amico thing. I'm not saying it is. We're just right before the podcast, so they're going to edit it. Your face turning red with excitement. We might discuss it on the next podcast next month, Ian.
Your face is pathetic. It's so pathetic. It's one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen in my life.
Ian, no. You got to pretend you like it.
Oh, it's great.